My name is Leah, and I love sharing music and messages and stories that are meaningful to me. I want to talk about losing my mind. And maybe after you hear where I'm coming from, you'll want to lose yours too. I'm remembering what it was like growing up in Baltimore City as a bright kid. When I was in second grade, my teachers suggested to my parents that I should be skipped at least one, maybe two grades ahead because of my academic prowess. What wound up happening, my parents thought that it would be better for me not to be rushed into a social situation where I was with kids who were as much as 2 or 3 years older than I was. So I wound up going to a school for gifted and talented kids called Harford Heights in Baltimore. And it was a wonderful program. It was really what I remember of it. There was a lot of singing. There was a lot of emphasis on creativity and on finding what really excited and resonated with kids. But at the end of the day, there was still the fact that I was in the GATE program, Gifted and Talented Education Program. And nobody came with one of those, those, can you see what I'm intending? Nobody had one of those attached to my ears, blowing up my head or anything. But the fact of the matter is, we live in a culture that accentuates certain types of intelligence. We live in a culture where we start telling our kids at 6 years old, we start grading them and telling them that if you get this grade, then you're better than if you get that grade. And it's really, to some extent, arbitrarily based on a teacher's opinion. I always remind my kids, your grades tell you your teacher's opinion of how well you're doing this thing. Doesn't tell you who you are, doesn't tell you how good you are. But I have to admit, being a bright kid, the expectation was always that I would perform at a certain level. But it's interesting that my hands come here because the level was always from here up. It was about what I could do academically. It was about what words I could spell. I was a spelling bee kid. We learned very quickly that math wasn't necessarily the place where I was going to excel. But I bet if I put my mind to it, I would have been a better mathematician, and that just would have been another of my accolades. But what I'm really focusing on now is not lowering the expectations in the sense of wanting to accomplish less or denigrate my intellect or my intelligence in any way. I just want to be here more. Listening to a variety of teachers, even coming up in the religious experience, learning some things about shamanism, I'm recognizing more and more that our culture doesn't have all the answers. Because when we think all the answers are from here up, we're missing a lot. We're missing the truth, the intuition that come from our heart, from our gut. We're missing the opportunity to ground ourselves and be where we are and not rely entirely on logic, intellect, intelligence, self-identification. And so what I'm intending in losing my mind is actually to give my mind a little bit of a rest and to understand more of what my mind is actually intended for, to gather information, to understand things about the world around me using my senses and my logic and my reasoning, to understand what's going on around me and to synthesize the insights that are being given to me from my heart and from my gut, my intuition. Finding a balance. But more and more, I'm recognizing that I want to use my mind to synthesize what my intuition, what my heart is guiding me to do. Here's a song that helps me to remember when I know I'm in my head and I'm convinced that all the answers are in my intellect. I just remind myself to drop my consciousness into my heart, to listen to all of me and see if there's more of an answer available than just what I know or what I think I know. Maybe there's something more beyond this level that would help me to expand and allow me to experience something entirely new and beyond my wildest imagination.
Drop my consciousness into my heart. Show me my way. Guide me with love. Drop my consciousness into my heart. Show me what I am made of. Drop my consciousness into my heart. Show me my way. Guide me and guide me. Drop my consciousness into my heart. Show me what I am made of. I'm made of light. I'm made for joy. Drop my consciousness into my consciousness. Show me what I am made of.
Are you open to losing your mind or using your mind in a different way? Inviting more of yourself, more of your being to participate in this life experience. What does that mean to you? Am I making sense here? I would love to hear your comments below. I would love to connect with you here or over at my own website. I would love if you would subscribe to this channel or visit me at my website and subscribe to my email list. Let's stay connected and let's keep sharing ideas, because the more we hear from each other, the more we get a chance to hear who and where we are. See you soon.